I'm already shaking my head because of the conversations that go on when we're off the air. It is, it's always ridiculous.
I was about to say we should start viewing or start screening and recording what we do off the air, but then it would be off the air. So it's kind of like
it'd be on the air. Yeah,
yeah, it's kind of like
the opposite of on the air is off the air. And it's time for our NFL pick segment, but
NFL picks in air.
Is that our intro music?
Of course not.
Okay, because we're gonna go with our real intro music.
Yes. Are you ready?
3, 2, 1.
That was our real intro music.
Are we ever going to look back and see how the intro music started?
Yes. We don't know how it started. It just came about.
Yeah. Well, you and the staff got together and painstakingly spent the whole month.
Speaking of staff, they keep demanding this thing called pay. Are we supposed to compensate them in some form, or I don't?
All right. So Bills versus Jets is the first game. That's how we handle demands, Rodg. We distract.
Okay, gotcha.
Bills and Jets. It's interesting that the records are so close and the spread is still like 11.5. The Bills.
Yeah, and each team is like kind of on. I still feel like they're so far apart. Though I still feel like the Bills are the best. Even though the Eagles are undefeated, I still feel like the Bills are the best team in the league. The Jets had a pretty good start. They lost last week to New England. That helped me out in the AFC East, me being a Dolphins fan. I think Buffalo could beat them and cover the spread tomorrow and win by at least 2 touchdowns. And that'll be another loss for them in the AFC East. I'm sorry, go ahead. Is this a Cowboys question? Go ahead.
No. Does everything in your world refer back to Alabama football, LeBron, or the Dolphins?
99.9% of things, yes. I could, yes. Optimistically, I just proudly say yes. That's true.
Okay. Okay.
That's and I think it's the same with you regarding your teams. Everything pretty much revolves around sports and all. Yes.
But for you, it's like, hey, the Jets lost. That helped me because I'm a Dolphins fan.
Well, it did because the Jets were actually, and I have to pull up the AFC East standings again. But I think the Jets are still ahead of us because they beat us. But I think they need. If they can get away to get another loss tomorrow, which I think is going to happen, it'll definitely help us. Yeah, we're tied right now. We both have 5-3 records, right? But as far as the Jets and the Dolphins, but they beat us, so they have the win above us. But one more loss for them, and I think we will go ahead and take the second place spot. And I have a feeling that that's where Miami's going to end up with the season because I want us to beat Buffalo again since we're the only team to beat them, but it's going to be very hard, and the game it's just going to be hard.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Especially it'll be at Buffalo this time too.
Yeah. And that's a good point because I'm kind of nervous to see how we play in cold weather with us being in Miami all the time and stuff like that. But I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Getting your T-shirt ready.
Yes.
Trademark. But yeah, Bills take the Jets tomorrow.
Yes.
Panthers at Bengals. I don't even know what to make of this game anymore. The Bengals without Chase just look. I mean, they looked great before, and then they look awful without him. I'll be honest, I thought they had a great enough wide receivers to get by that loss.
I did too, but they played horribly this last game.
Yeah, it's just bad. But the Panthers, I mean, they're like in sell mode, but they're all of a sudden like they're feisty, Rodg.
So right.
I'm going to take the Bengals to win, but I think this will be closer than expected.
Yeah, you made up a good point. This Monday night was a Halloween, I think, when the Bengals played the Browns. To your point, I thought since they had some more weapons other than Jamar Chase, I was like, Joe Burrow will still look good.
Right.
Not to mention I have him on my fantasy team, and he didn't really help me out. But it just didn't. The offense didn't really produce this past Monday night, and they didn't look bad. But I do think they have what it takes to beat the Panthers. I think the Panthers are still having a rocky season. All of their quarterback was a P.J. Walker, actually. He's played pretty good the past 2 games, given
for like a third or possibly even 4th-string wide receiver.
That's what I was saying, given the circumstances. But I think the Bengals can win this game and bounce back. And I hope Joe Burrow has he goes in and shows us who the other weapons are, and then he has me some fantasy points. So
wow. Well, last game they took an L, but today they bounce back. They'll beat the. All right, so the Packers at the Lions.
You know, when you look at this game prior to the season starting, you would say that the Packers would blow them out. But The Lions actually played a decent game offensively against Miami last week, even though my Dolphins won.
In the first half.
In the first half. You're right. In the first half. The Packers, we know they've had a really, really rocky season. We don't know how Aaron Rodgers is frustrated. I still don't think he has that number one go-to receiver. I think Romeo Doubs shows those glimpses and flashes every once in a while, but it's not set in stone.
Right. And he's still a rookie and not like a highly heralded rookie. So, it's going to take him a little bit to develop.
Right. And with all that said, I think the line is what? Green Bay by 3.5. I'm going to pick the Lions in this game. I'm going to go ahead and pick the Lions in this game. I'm going
upset alert. Upset alert. Upset alert. Lions win.
I'm going with the Lions.
Yep. I think Mahoney will be happy. He'll probably laugh at us and go, no way. But I'm taking the Lions at home. I'm not impressed by Green Bay at all. And I think we just keep expecting them to flip the switch and start winning, and I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah. I got the Lions.
Colts at the Patriots.
Oh, wow. Jonathan Taylor's out this game, even though he hasn't been having a greatest season anyway. New England beat the Jets last week. They played in Foxborough. I'm going to go ahead and pick the Patriots to cover this game.
Yeah, I think they do. I think, Eglinger, the Texas guys starting for the Colts. Still.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So I think he gives them a little bit more mobility back there, of course. But
yeah, but I don't think he's the best passer, though.
No. And he's just getting in there, so he's got time. But I definitely think the Patriots take this one at home.
Yeah, I agree.
The Chargers at Falcons is another one of those games, like, before the year, if I told you this game, you'd have been like Chargers by double digits. And now it's like Falcons, who are actually leading their division, are only down by 3 against the Chargers. I have no idea what to expect from this game.
I don't either. You took the words right out of my mouth. This is a we'll see what happens type game, but I'm going to go ahead and just pick the Chargers.
Same.
I think Justin Herbert has a pretty good game this game. And
can you tell how confident we are?
We're not confident at all.
I just go ahead and pick the Chargers.
Yeah.
Why not?
We don't have any of our NFL analysts on this call today, so we're just kind of guessing at this one here.
We're just winging. Yep. I think the Chargers bounce back and get a win. They're not out of it as far as the playoff race, but they have to win games like this to stay in.
Yeah.
And for the Falcons, they probably don't know if they want to be in the playoff race or not. So.
No, they probably just want to see what kind of draft picks they're going to have next year and go forward.
Yeah. I think it's clear, though, that Mariota's not their quarterback in the future.
He's a bridge quarterback,
Yeah. You just wanted to use that term, didn't you? Somebody gave you that term, bridge quarterback. Oh, my God.
Use term alert.
Raiders at the Jaguars.
Another game prior to the season, I would have said the Raiders would win. This does not look like an exciting. Derek Carr and Devontae Adams are not having a great season. Trevor Lawrence.
Somebody has Devontae Adams on their team.
I have him on my fantasy team, and he's only producing maybe 2 or 3 weeks. Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars started off pretty hot, but they've been kind of cold lately. It's in Jacksonville. I'll pick the Jaguars to win this game
because you don't care.
I do like the fact that Josh Jacobs is having a really, really good season. He's really bounced back. So even with that said, I'm going to just pick the Jaguars, but I really have no say so in this game or no.
Yeah, I think I'll take the Jags at home and not flip over to this game ever.
Gotcha.
Dolphins at the Bears.
No, don't say Dolphins like that. You got to say Dolphins.
Okay. Rodg's Miami Dolphins.
There we go. There we go.
Bears.
We're playing the Bears. The game's in Chicago, and again, this kind of goes to what we were saying earlier as far as Miami playing in the cold weather. I don't know what the temperature. I think the temperature is going to be in around 50. I don't know. Just to guess, it'd be around 50 degrees. The Bears just picked up Chase Claypool last week. Or earlier this week, I'm sorry. That was a huge pickup for them because both you and I have discussed how many weapons Justin Fields needs to kind of succeed at quarterback.
Right. But at the same time, they traded away their defense. So. They
got rid of Roquan Smith, who's like one of the best defensive players in the league. He's actually leading the league in tackles this year. And he could have really helped them to get at 2 of this game. So it's going to be interesting to see how they kind of balance that out. Yeah, they got a little better on offense, but then the defense kind of slipped a little bit. With that said, Tua's looking better in his past 2 games. He's getting the ball out. He's releasing the ball. I think this is the game where Tyreek hits over 1,000 yards receiving, and Jalen.
In this one game or for the year?
No, I'm sorry. He's got like 961 receiving yards now.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. I should have clarified.
I was like,
If he
that's a
had
heck of a
1,000
game.
if he has 1,000 receiving yards, then I have no idea what to say about that. I think,
You have to start every play from the one and only throw to Tyree.
Basically, he's triple team. I have to say this record.
Yeah.
I think the Dolphins can win and cover tomorrow. Yeah, but I am really interested to see how Claypool and Fields kind of connect and see what transpires there.
Right. And I think it'll take more than a game or two to get them going.
Yeah.
And, Claypool wants to prove that he's the number one wide receiver, so it didn't work out at the end at the Steelers, so maybe a change would be good for him, but I think the Dolphins get this game for sure.
I know you do. All right.
Wow. The Vikings at the Commanders. That's another. It's weird when you look at a 6-1 team versus a 4-4 team, and they're only favored by 3. I got to think the Vikings.
Yeah.
This just seems like a Kirk Cousins 300-yard game,
Yeah, it does. It does. I think that the Commanders, with them being 4-4, it's still not great record, and then them being in the NFC East, obviously they're not going to win the division anyway. But the Vikings and Kirk Cousins are hot right now. They've been hot pretty much all season. I think they win tomorrow. I still think Washington still needs to get their quarterback situation under control. Carson Wentz is best years, and I think we can both agree we're in Philly.
Yeah.
I like the fact
his
that
best
Brian
year wasn't.
Ever since he came back from the injury, it just hasn't been the same kind of Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't know if he ever will be. But I think I have Minnesota winning this game and covering.
It's interesting. Teams like Washington and Indy, like the Colts, just aren't going all in on a new quarterback. They're like, let's keep getting these older guys and see if one of them works out. It's not working out, guys.
They're just keeping their fingers crossed, and they're like, we'll see what happens.
Yep. So the Seahawks at the Cardinals to start the 3:00 slate. I never thought I'd do this before the season. I'm gonna take the Seahawks on the road.
You know what? DeAndre Hopkins is back, and he had a good game. Did you see that one-handed catch that I texted you about?
I did. He reminded me of you.
Thank you. With that said, I'm taking the Cardinals at home to cover.
Yeah, they're favored by 2, so it's not even it's not a big one. But yeah, I can't blame you on that one. If they're gonna put it together now, they're 3-5. If they're gonna make a run, it's got to start now.
Yeah.
So I agree with that part, but I'll take the Seahawks on the road.
Okay.
I'm also going to take this next team on the road, the Rams at the Bucks.
I don't know what to think about this one. Again, this is
both teams are a mess.
Yeah,
both teams are a mess.
They are. You got the defending Super Bowl champions, and then the team that won the Super Bowl 2 years ago. They're both 1-3-4, 1-3-5. You're taking the Rams?
I'm going to take the Rams. This game might end up being like 17-14 though, because these offenses are not clicking right now.
Anti-Herb alert. I'm going to go ahead and pick the Bucks at home to cover. And again, with the anti-Herb alert, I'm not going to give you an analysis on why. I'm just picking the opposite of what my brother is picking.
The logic is ridiculous and funny all at the same time.
That's what I was going for.
All right, the Titans at the Chiefs. Tannehill may or may not play in this game.
He's not playing. He's out.
Is he officially out? I don't think it mattered. It just means the Titans will try to run more. The Chiefs will stack the box more, but the Chiefs are going to win this game.
The Chiefs are going to win. We saw Malik Willis with his first start against when they played. Who was it the other day? I think it was
Colts, maybe
the Texans, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes. Texans, and that was a low-scoring game. I think both quarterbacks in that game had under 80 yards passing or something. Yeah. But that was the game where Derrick Henry ran for 219 yards, whatever. Anyway, that's not going to work against the Chiefs. The Chiefs are going to put up a lot of points, and I think the Chiefs cover easily.
I think they win this game. Yep.
I would like to see Malik Willis if he could develop as a quarterback. I just don't know if they're comfortable with him passing the ball. And then tomorrow in Kansas City, it's not going to be easy. No,
that's a terrible second start for you to have. But it'll be good for his development because I don't think Tannehill is the future there for sure.
Right.
And but if you think the Bills are the best team, I think the Chiefs are the second best team in the AFC for sure. So.
I agree. My Dolphins are very close though.
What?
My Dolphins are very close though.
Close to what? Close to what?
All right, that would be disrespectful. All right, Monday night game. The Ravens are playing in New Orleans against the Saints. The Ravens are favored by 2.5.
The Ravens are playing New Orleans against the Saints versus.
they're playing in New Orleans against the Saints.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And the Ravens didn't they just acquire somebody in the trade deadline?
What is a linebacker, right? It was a defensive player.
Lord, what's the gentleman's name?
Gentleman.
Ravens. I could have sworn they just got somebody.
Man, we are not on it today, huh?
We are not on it this Saturday morning. Who did the? Anyway, with that said, even without their acquisition, I still have the Ravens winning this game.
Yep.
In New Orleans. New Orleans is having a rocky season.
Roquan Smith?
No, he's. Oh, did they get Roquan Smith?
Yeah, they got Roquan Smith. You're thinking of the other trade that they made for another defender.
You're right. They did get Roquan Smith. Oh, wow. Yeah. That's going to put a lot of pressure on the QB anyway. But, I got the Ravens winning this one and covering.
I agree with that. I think the Ravens will win this game. I think it might be a tight one. You can never really tell with New Orleans these days.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I do think they'll win that game.
I agree. And obviously the Thursday night game already transpired. I mean, we not really much to talk about. It's the best team the team with the best record in the league and the team with probably one of the worst records, or if not the worst record. I mean, we're going to pick the Eagles anyway.
Yeah.
I think the game was actually a little closer than I thought it would be.
Especially in the first half, man. They really took it to them there for a minute.
Yeah. The Texans were doing a good job running the ball, too. So, but I mean, I think everybody on earth was going to pick the Eagles anyway. So.
Yeah, that was a no-brainer. Sorry.
And if you look at the Eagles, like the next 2 or 3 games, I think they could easily go 10, 11, 0.
Yeah. Do you think that's good or bad for a team?
You know what? That's actually a very good question. I thought about it, and I do think they're going to lose a game before. I don't think they're going to go undefeated. That's just
no, I don't think so either.
And in a way, it could be good, so you can kind of get that label off your back and just say, okay, we lost the game, so we can go ahead and move on. But then again, you don't want to lose a game, so right. I don't know. I'm kind of saying like I'm indifferent. I'm kind of split with that question.
I think there's just a lot of pressure, like you just said, to go, and then your focus doesn't become on the game. It's like keeping that record and you press a little too much.
Yeah.
And what's the difference between undefeated, unless you're going for like, a monumental record?
Yeah.
I remember when the Kentucky Wildcats, one of the seasons they won, I think they lost in the SEC tournament. Yeah. Before going, and Cal was like, I mean, that's as good for us because you need to have that win to kind of keep you loss to keep you fresh. So
yeah.
And then you also even, let's be honest, have the thing about wanting to rest a couple guys at the end of the year.
Oh yeah.
So you can't do that if you're undefeated and everybody's pressing. So
right.
They're definitely going to lose a game or two along the way.
Oh yeah, I think so. I just think going undefeated in the NFL is just too difficult, and we all know there's only been one perfect team in NFL history: the 1972 Miami Dolphins. But anyway, other than that, that Thursday night game was pretty much, we knew the Eagles were going to win.
How are we talking about Philadelphia and you still get to work in the Dolphins? Like
that's just what I do.
It's ridiculous.
That's why they pay me the big bucks.
Yeah. And on that note, I think that is it for the picks this week.
Yep.
Great day of college football today.
Cannot wait. Big game starting at 2:30. Then we have 6:30 going through the night. I have to take another review at the 11 a.m. games, but nothing that I'm really pushing to see. So
no, you'll be okay. If you have to go out and get your supplies for the rest of the day, now's the time to do it.
Gotcha.
All right. Herb, Rodg. Rodg's going to take us home.
Let's do it.
3 to the 2, 2 to the 1.
Bama versus LSU tonight. Woo! Bama versus LSU tonight. Woo! Bama versus LSU tonight. Game in Death Valley. Outro music.
Good Lord. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.